Good morning, students. Today we are going to study the essay El Dorado, written by Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson was a poet, an essayist, and a novelist. And although he was a victim of tuberculosis all his life, he led a very adventurous life. He loved adventure. Now, the title of this essay, El Dorado, it is a Spanish term, a Spanish phrase, which means the land of gold. It is a philosophical essay about man's nature, the essential, inherent human nature. Man is always in search of happiness. He is always searching for newer experiences of happiness. The writer says in the essay, life is only a very dull and ill-directed theatre unless we have some interest in the piece. And to these and to those who neither art nor science, the world is a mere arrangement of color or a rough footway where they may very well break their shins. A man looks at the world with desire and curiosity. Now, as all of us have experienced this, that the desires and curiosities of an individual are endless. We are always yearning for more and more. We are always yearning for that unattainable, unreachable, unknown aspect of life. This is a common human tendency that is common to all ages, all countries, all mankind. So the writer has emphasized this quality of human nature in these lines. Then the writer gives the example of Alexander the Great, and he says, when Alexander the Great conquered the world, he cried that there are no more worlds to conquer. He was still not satisfied. He conquered the whole world, but he was not satisfied. He wanted to conquer more worlds. The writer says, happily we all shoot at the moon with ineffectual arrows. Our hopes are set on inaccessible El Dorado. We come to an end of nothing here below. Once a person gets something, that thing loses its value. This is what the writer has tried to emphasize in the above lines. Now the writer gives a very relevant example, an example with which we all can relate, and he proves his point, his assumption, and he says, when a child is born, it seems that it is the end of trouble. But as the child grows older, new concerns crop up, like his health, his education, and then when he grows up, his marriage, and then his children's lives. So, the writer is saying that when a child comes into a couple's family, they feel that now they have their child, everything is fine. But when the child grows up, they have their own concerns. They have some other issues like the child's proper upbringing, his health, his education. And then as the child grows up, how that child builds his or her career. Then they are worried about the child's marriage, how their child, when their child marries, and then their grandchildren, then they think about the grandchildren, their lives. So this process is endless. It keeps going on and on. There is no end to it. This is the point that the writer wants to emphasize in these lines. And also the writer gives one more example, which is of marriage. And he says that when a person marries, he feels that he has reached the hilltop. He has married the person whom he or she loves, and then they get married and he feels that he has reached the hilltop. But then, marriage is not the end, it is just the beginning. The couple has to live their life peacefully. They have to make a lot of adjustments. They have to have a lot of sense of commitment to make their marriage work. So they have to work towards it whole life so that it is a happy and successful marriage. So that process is also ongoing and continuous. By these two examples, the writer tries to emphasize this point that newer and newer things come in life and we have to make adjustments to make them work. So students, we will continue with this essay El Dorado in the next lecture. Thank you.